All right, what's up there, SEO pros? Welcome back. We're on part 2 of the three pillars of SEO. Previously, we covered keyword research. Some of the things I was going to talk about, but I didn't, was about creating competitor research in terms of your keyword research. Before we move into content, I really want to hit on this because this is very important. And hold on, I'm clipping on my audio. 1 second, let me fix that. Go into here, go into here. That went up to 100 for some reason. All right, that should be good now. So yeah, sorry about that. Probably loud volume at the beginning. But anyways, here we are back at part 2. So what I want to get into before we get into content, which is the second stage after you do some keyword research, is actually competitor research, because keyword research is important, as I showed you with the tools, but it's more important to actually figure out what's going on in your industry and figure out what you can hit on in terms of some of the vulnerabilities. So how do you figure this out? So obviously, if I go into here and I look at the different things I'm ranking for, you know, I have an idea. Look, I'm ranking for SEO stuff. Sounds good. I could keep trying to do that. I can also try to rank for this stuff, but that's just on Google, right? I haven't really done any competitor analysis on other platforms. So it's important to take a look and see if there are opportunities on other platforms. Generally, what I recommend is to try to shoot for 3 platforms when you're starting out, or even 2. So you can start out with, let's say, ranking on Google, getting traffic from Facebook, and getting traffic from YouTube. And you could do whatever you want. You could do podcasting, you could do, you know, Twitter marketing, it doesn't matter, but at least choose a few. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to just go into these different platforms and see what other people are doing on these other platforms. It's not too difficult. So what you're going to do, let's say you want to go for Facebook. Go to Facebook. You want to see how people are driving traffic in your industry and bringing people in through Facebook, but with what sort of content marketing they're doing. So let's just say you're going to look for some of the big players. Let's try by just typing in SEO, see who shows up. Got Wikipedia, that's not a very good example. We got Moz.com, got Search Engine Land, we got SEO.com, we got Neil Patel. So let's try out Moz first. So obviously, if we use Moz for Google or through Ahrefs or SEMrush or any tool where you can see competitor data through keywords, you're going to see that they're probably doing pretty well. Now, one of the ways you can do this through the keyword side is you can just go sort by, sorry, you can sort by keyword difficulty and look for the keywords with low keyword difficulty. So all of these are at 0. That's one way, right? But through the keyword research methods I provided earlier, those are probably going to be some of your best bets, just by going through the different keywords and going for lower keyword difficulty, lower search volume, and probably like $1 to $2 CPC starting out. The competitor research is going to be cool too for getting keyword ideas, but the method I showed you just in terms of creating a content game plan is probably going to be good enough just to start out with at least. So let's go look at them on Facebook. So let's just go type in Moz. And one of the ways you can actually do this is you can go to something called similarweb.com and see how much traffic they're pulling from other sources. So if I go into here, type in Moz. I should be able to see how much estimated traffic they're getting from other sources. So most of it's from search, some of it's from direct, some of it's from referrals, not a lot of it's from social, right? So that's a pretty big vulnerability right there. You know, not a lot of it's from mail, none of it's from really display advertising, right? So obviously, you know, they could use some help there, right? And that's the thing is, if you're looking to help other companies or even yourself, and you can see on your own website that you're not getting a lot of traffic from certain sources, that means that's some sort of marketing that you could hit down on more and probably bring in more traffic. Look at this. I'm about the actual opposite of Moz, where I'm actually bringing most of my traffic from referral, or from social, right? But none of it from these other, I mean, some of it from these other sources, but not nearly as much. You can also see the types of websites that are bringing in traffic as well from what referral sources. So if I go into Facebook, again, Moz wouldn't be a very good example to look at. So we're going to go to the next person. Let's go to searchengineland.com. Go into here, go into similar web again. Scroll down. Most of it's from search, not a lot from these other sources. So again, not a good place to sort of get an idea from. But I can pretty much guarantee you Neil Patel is probably getting a lot of social traffic because he does a lot of social media marketing. So let's go into here. We'll go into here, I mean. Huh, interesting. It says 3% social. Let's look at what sort of social he's bringing in, though, just because I know he does more social than most people. So Facebook, 47%, YouTube, 24%. So let's go see what he's doing on Facebook then. Go into there. Go Neil Patel. And we're going to go into his page. Now, you can see these different posts, you know, some of them aren't really getting engagement, and then others that are video are getting a ton of engagement. So this one.
Do you know one of the best strategies to beat your competition?
Now, this is almost like a TV show. It's on Facebook Watch. So I'm wondering if a lot of the traffic comes through this. This could be a strategy that I incorporate into my own Facebook strategy. Because again, what you want to do is you want to figure out what other people are doing successfully and apply that to your own strategy. If I look at Moz, they're probably not doing that, right? Looks like they're not, and they're probably also not receiving that much referral traffic from Facebook. So, or at least not as much as Neil Patel. So that's already one vulnerability that I found, right? Use Facebook, watch videos or whatever it's called, right? This is something you should be doing in almost any niche you're in. You should be looking at multiple channels, seeing what other people in your niche are doing successfully, and then build in an entire game plan related to that and how you're streamlining your content, how you're starting up your marketing that isn't just related to only SEO. SEO is going to be very important, but it's something that works very slowly, and you want to be able to incorporate other types of marketing in the process. So anyways, we talked about keyword research, talked a little bit about competitor research. In terms of content, the type of content you do is really going to be around what other people are doing in a sense. So if you're going to try to rank, let's say, for something around SEO, and you want to do really well for SEO, or you want to really do well for any niche, you want to see what people are doing in those niches. It's not complicated. So if we look at what Neil Patel's doing that's ranking for a bunch of keywords, he's probably writing these huge skyscraper articles because that's what ranks in SEO because it's so competitive. If we go look for, let's say, something like fishing tips, this is going to be a little bit less competitive. You're only competing with like 10 tips, 38 tips, that kind of thing, because you're not competing with people who have massive authority or huge blog posts where they're trying to rank for a bunch of things, you know, everything under the sun, right? So again, Google, anything, Facebook, you're trying to figure out what other people are doing in terms of their content. Let's say YouTube. Let's see that Neil Patel's second main source of traffic is YouTube, right? So I go into YouTube, Neil Patel, and in here, if I look at what his videos are doing that are successful, a lot of these videos are him standing in front of a white screen and then talking about certain things. I personally did this with my videos in the past, and I got a lot of views on those videos because those are the type of videos that really work well. Same thing if you're going to go for like a gaming website, right? Say you want to rank for a bunch of things around gaming videos. Let's just say one of the video games I like to play is Rust. So if I go in here and I see what's ranking for this, you can see it's all like a similar layout on how people are creating these videos. Some sort of eye-catching intro, they start talking about what they're going to do, and then it's usually the same sort of thing. Or it's like a series, right? But the point is that if you're not creating a layout for your marketing, if you're not creating some sort of theme on what you're doing, like for instance, if you're going to be going for Google, if you're going to be going for Facebook, if you're going for YouTube, you have to figure out what works for other people first, right? You don't need to reinvent the wheel. And then basically get to their level. And then once you're there, then try to innovate on your own. But don't try to just innovate right out of the gate if you're brand new, because innovation usually happens once you're already doing the requirement of what other people are doing, in a sense. I'm not saying to directly copy exactly what people are saying and all that kind of stuff, but because a lot of people do that. But I'm saying like actually try to get on the same level that other people are doing with their marketing on these different platforms, and then streamline what you're doing on those platforms to get to where you need to go next. So that's the content side. The last thing we need to cover is the technical SEO. In terms of the technical SEO, this part's really easy. You just have to use some sort of template. So I have an audit template that works really well for this. You guys probably saw it over here. I would totally recommend getting it. It's only like, I think it's like 100 and something bucks. This will enable you to see any technical issues going on with the site that's going to be holding you back from you know, what you're trying to do, but you know, which is rank on Google, right? But a lot of this stuff, like, you know, schema markup, page speed optimization, all this stuff is explained in separate videos on the different tabs that you can watch and see how to do this stuff. And you know, again, the biggest issues, if you're not really wanting to do all this stuff, you want somebody else to do the SEO for you, which we do. You know, really the biggest things are indexation problems, site architecture problems, and page speed problems. Everything else is pretty minor in comparison to those three main things, and duplicate content problems. But again, if you watch these videos, you don't even have to buy the roadmap. You can just go to my website, type in chasereiner.com, go to the roadmap, and you can watch the videos without even needing to buy the template and see how these different things work. So that's it for the 3 pillars of SEO. Hopefully you guys got some value from that. And until I see y'all next time, happy SEOing.